Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I thought I would spend some time with the spring flowers, the spring ephemerals, and photograph them, but do it with a wide angle lens. And to keep myself from cheating and zooming in and being tempted to use other focal lengths, I'm going to be using a 20mm prime, and that's right here on my Nikon Z7 II. And this is going to allow me to get really close and exaggerate the size of these flowers. I think it'll be especially interesting with the bluebells. And then at the same time also give me a lot of additional depth. So I think I can make some things look pretty interesting in terms of the flowers and that, especially around this one tree here. The challenges I'm going to have is a lot of depth of field, much more than I may want, so that may bring some background elements into play in addition to a very wide field of view. So there may be some other distractions that I don't really want, people and other things in the background. So I'll have to be a little bit mindful of that. But let's see what we can kind of figure out and find out. So I can see already that, especially these low angle ones, I'm really going to have to be careful about what I'm doing in terms of background. I think I'll try taking some higher level ones and just get right in on top of these. Working with the wide angle lens really made this area look a little bit deeper than it really is, just because of the added depth. I worked with a fairly open aperture to still fade the background a little bit, so that worked out pretty nice. And overall, I like the way the fence in the background works with this. And one of the advantages of using the wide angle lens is it just really helps bring out that foreground area. Okay, so let's walk around and see what else we can find over here in the sunny areas, see if that gives us some other more interesting photos. See if we got any of those nice and sharp. Yeah, those actually look kind of fun. I think a couple things I like about this. One is it's very unusual angle for a bluebell. The other is it does remind me of fireworks with the way I've got that subtle line coming up from the bottom left-hand corner up to the main subject itself, and then that one bloom that's just really nice and big there in the frame. So I think having those two things working together came out really nice. It was a bit of a challenge because it was pretty windy, so these things were moving around, but I do like the way that came out. Okay, we'll see what we got with those, and hopefully we have something good. I think I'll just spend a little bit more time photographing around here, and then we'll move on to the tulips. A couple more shots that I ended up liking. I got really low to the ground. In fact, I was laying on the ground shooting almost straight up at these. And what that did was it did eliminate a lot of the ground, made for a little bit cleaner background, but did like this very low angle and thought it did make for some rather fun shots. So now that we're through with the bluebells, let's head over to the tulips. The tulip beds were looking really nice, really in full bloom. And as I kind of looked around at the different ones out there, first thing I thought of was I definitely want to go and get something close looking towards the inside, down towards the stamens. So I really liked the way this one came out. The thing that's kind of interesting is by having that wide angle lens, I was really able to exaggerate the inside of this particular tulip, but then have a little bit of the area surrounding it just to give a little bit more context to show that this was actually taken outdoors. So I noticed some yellow flowers that were in a bed that was a little bit elevated, so I thought that would be kind of an interesting place to go and get some low angle shots. And what I really wanted to do is to try to use the sky, because I thought that blue sky normally sky without clouds isn't very interesting, but I thought this would actually work pretty well with the yellow flowers and having that in the background. So I started with this one, and similar to the previous, just put the lens right up in it to really make it look really big. And then I thought maybe another shot that would be interesting would be to really get low and shoot almost straight up and really make those tulip stems look really, really long. And so I did that with this one, and I did like the effect, especially with that big pine tree. And then finally I wanted to come in and shoot one with a really, really shallow depth of field so that even the main subject was partially out of focus. It's really having that very front bit, and with the yellow flower it added a little bit of a challenge due to a little bit of lack of contrast, but I did like the way this one ended up turning out. So overall was really happy with these 3 shots of these yellow tulips. So overall I think it was a pretty productive day. Had a good time down at the Bluebells. I got quite a few good shots down there, and then also with the tulips some pretty unique things. So I think I have a few new things to put into the class for Saturday, and definitely a few things that just make me happy with the way they came out. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you'd like to know about more, go ahead, hit that subscribe and that little bell, and you'll be notified when I post something new. Thanks. Bye.